Hey guys, welcome back to another Mailbox Monday where we answer all of your questions from our previous Mailbox Monday. We're going to jump right into it. I'm going to let Nas answer the first question, which is, what do you do when you get a bad review?
All right, let's get into it. So I actually had this experience recently. My shop 95% of the time gets 5-star reviews, and I make sure my customers are happy and that I give them the best product and ship it out fast. In this incident, it was a small mistake on my behalf, and I usually check my orders, like triple check them before I process them, so I was like mad at myself. But they ordered 2 shirts that were the same size. I only sent them 1 by accident. So the customer ended up leaving a bad 1-star review saying that they only received 1 and that they felt ripped off. Well, I immediately reached out to them, and this is my advice for anyone that gets a 1-star/bad review. Reach out to the person that gave you the bad comment and see if you can fix it and get them to change the review. Because after a quick convo, when I reached out with the dissatisfied customer, I apologized, let them know it was a minor mistake, and I said that I'm going to be sending them the second one out immediately. And they ended up being satisfied with that because they were happy with the first shirt and they said it was great quality. So within minutes, she went back in, changed her review from a 1-star to a 5-star, and wrote that it was excellent quality and that she had a little shipping issue, but that the store owner cleared it up and fixed the problem right away. So that went from a 1-star review to a 5-star review, and you know that it can sting and kind of hurt your shop for a couple weeks if you get a 1-star. So it was nice to get to fix that and to make the customer happy.
Yeah, so if you ever get a bad review on your shop, it's always worth it to reach out and try to see if you can make things better for them and see if they can change that review for you.
Yeah, definitely. And the other thing is, don't answer them. Don't reply to the review publicly on your page, because once you do that, I'm pretty sure that they can't change their review. So direct message them on Etsy to reach out to them that first time.
Yeah.
Don't comment publicly because they won't be able to change it.
Yeah, even if you erase your public reply to a review on your shop, the customer will not be able to edit it. It'll stay on there for good.
Yeah.
So definitely reach out to the customer first, see if you can have a nice conversation and handle things that way, and ask them to kindly revise that review.
And then the other thing I wanted to say is sometimes people are hard to please or are being difficult, so you might not get them to be able to change the review.
Yeah.
But just know that if you do get a 1-star, just keep it pushing and shoot for 5 stars after that.
Yeah.
Don't sweat it too much because you got to keep it moving regardless, and then you might not be able to get them to switch it. So just keep it moving and make sure that you try not to have any errors. Quadruple check your orders before you process them.
Yeah, for sure. And like you said, like if somebody is unwilling to change their review, that's when I would go in and publicly reply. When you know at that point that that person's being stubborn, they're going to be a negative person and they want that bad review on your page, that's when you publicly reply in a nice, professional manner, because people read reviews on your shop before they purchase products from you. So
yeah, and that's the other thing. A bad review, it might literally not necessarily be your fault.
Yeah.
Maybe you did actually give them a good product, but they're just, for whatever reason, unhappy. So that's when if you couldn't fix the problem with them, then you publicly reply like Jenny's saying and just keep it professional. But also, if you truly didn't do anything wrong, state that politely so anybody else can see that, hey, this person got mainly good reviews except for a couple people that were disgruntled, and the way he answered them, I could kind of see, you know, that it might not have been an issue on the shop's part.
Yeah.
So that's how to handle that, in my opinion.
It's like they're reading the room. They're seeing all the 5-star reviews, and then they see that one negative one, and they're like, okay, that customer's just crazy. It's not the shop. So, all right, next question.
Yeah, next question.
Is what is the strategy for listing once a holiday is passed? Do you just let them ride and keep them active? Do you pause them for next year or delete? I just always keep my holiday listings up all year round because it's crazy, but literally, like, it'll be a couple days after Christmas and I'll get an order for Christmas shirts. Like, people are shopping all year round for different holidays, and if they're not purchasing your holiday products, they're at least favoriting them to come back to them later for the next holiday. So I just keep it up. Yes, you're going to lose a couple, 20-cent listing fees whenever they reactivate or renew. But it's worth it in my eyes because these people are favoriting them to come back to them next year for the next holiday.
Cool.
All right, next question.
I just kicked the camera. It's all right. Next question.
Okay. What happens if the customer wants to return a shirt or an item? So in my shop policies, I have no return or exchanges unless there is a defect with the product, in which case, if there's an issue with the product, I have my customer send me a picture of let's say it's a shirt, of the shirt, and tell me what the defect is. And then I reach out to Printify. You go to the order within Printify, you scroll down, and there's a button that says submit issue, and you fill out the form. It's gonna say like what's wrong with the product, and you put the picture in there and send it to Printify, and they are very quick to either reprint or refund you for that order. Aside from defects, I don't do returns or exchanges. Do you do anything differently?
No, I'm pretty much on the same page with you on that one for sure.
Yeah, because you don't want to be out of pocket. As long as your listings state everything in your description and you have a sizing chart within the product images, it's on their due diligence to order the product that fits them correctly. This next question I'm going to let Nas answer. Wondering if you could address selling internationally in your next video. If someone outside of the country wants to buy your product, do you ship from a printing provider in that country? What's the best way to handle this? Because I don't do international shipping, but Nas does. He's the best person to answer this question.
So I would say ship the order still from the US and the provider that you use for your orders in the US, and send it to the other country. But your adjusted price for the shipping on that listing will have been more, and it will make your profit margin bigger than if it was an order just from the US. I've had people pay over $40 for one t-shirt. So the profit margin was more for that t-shirt. I ended up making $22 on one shirt. So it actually works out good for you, but you have to adjust it in the shipping settings and make sure that that shipping covers that price and doesn't come out of your pocket.
Yeah.
So I do it. And there's people that don't because they are scared of having problems with it taking long. But if you message the customer and give them a heads up that because you're based in the US, it might take a little bit longer, but it's definitely on its way, it will smooth out the process, and they should be okay with that, especially if they really want the shirt.
Yeah, so definitely.
So I hope I answered that correctly. I know that was a little bit shaky, but that's exactly what I do.
Yeah, no, that was good.
We can do a separate, quicker video too on exactly how to do it. Maybe Jenny, or we'll put it on her TikTok and Instagram page, and it'll be a quick clip on how to exactly do that. I think it's pretty easy, right? It's been a while since I've done it.
Yeah.
But I did it 2 years ago, and every time I get an international order, I always make a little bit more than if it was a US order. So
Yeah.
it's working out for me.
But you still use like Swift POD and Monster
And I
within
still
Printify.
use the ones that I would use if it was an order from Seattle.
Yeah, because it doesn't make sense. Like if you have a listing within your Etsy shop and you're selling to people in the US and internationally, it's going to be too confusing if you're using like Swift POD for the US people and then, I don't know, another printing company for the UK. Like that's going to be too
You'll
confusing.
be dealing with multiple,
Yeah.
fulfillment companies or shipping companies, and it can confuse things. And if you're used to already working with Swift POD and Monster, and you know that they have good quality stuff that your customers have been happy with most of the time, then you want to use them anyway, instead of switching with somebody that you might not be too familiar with and what the product is.
Yeah. So long answer short, just use US print providers still.
Yeah,
and charge
use US
more.
print providers and adjust that shipping setting to cover what that cost is to get it there.
I don't know if I can even like read this question without laughing or having a mental breakdown. It's maybe you can do a video on how you work on your Etsy business and life balance with kids. I have little kids and I'm struggling with consistency.
It
It's
gets
hard.
crazy sometimes. We'll have our kids climbing all over us while we're trying to do this.
It's so hard. We don't have like a great answer for you other than like we know exactly how you're feeling and exactly what you mean, and it's chaotic, but I always say like pockets of your time are key. I've always said this from the very start, is pockets of your time when you're a parent or when you have a full-time job. Pockets of your time is...
If your kids are small enough to take naps, try to get it into their nap time. If your kids go to school, do it during the school time.
Yeah.
If you're still working a job, do it when you get off of work or during your lunch break. It's definitely gonna you have to strengthen your mental muscle.
Yeah. And if you have a good support system, like we have a very good relationship, and Nas will take the kids while I get some work done, vice versa.
Yeah, we'll juggle them and give each other time to do stuff.
Yeah, if you have a good support system or team, like maybe asking for help every now and then, but most of the time it's pockets of our time, late nights, early mornings.
Late night too, when they're asleep.
Yeah.
Which is not easy, but you get it done. And if you really want to make that extra money, you'll make it happen,
Yeah. And to be honest, right now, we were struggling because Nas was trying to handle the angry review that he just told you guys about, and I was getting these questions ready for this, and the baby started crying, and our 5-year-old was asking us questions, and I looked at this question, I just started laughing. I was like, it's just, there's no real great answer for you guys other than you're doing a good job, and just try your best to work in the pockets of your time, and just know it's chaotic, it's hard, but it's going to make for a better future for yourself and for your family.
And we understand you got to put your family first, because that's the most important thing of all. So spend the time with your kids first, and then figure this out second.
And you're saying like I'm struggling with consistency, and like that's okay. Like we are too.
Yeah. It's never going to be a straight line of consistency. Like it's hard.
So
it's going to be ups and...
Yeah, so you're not alone. We hear you.
Sometimes you have to just put it down and give all the attention to your kids.
Well, that's the thing. We try our best to get things done in the pockets of our times when our kids are at nap, or when our kids are napping, late nights, early mornings, taking turns, because we want to be there for our kids, like, most of the time, living in the present moment with them. It's hard.
Because that's why we do this anyway to begin with.
Yeah.
Is to have more time with our kids.
Yeah. Okay.
Balance. Next question.
I need some advice on pricing, please, on sweatshirts. What percentage markup from basic sales price on Printify? So this person says, I offer 20% a sale at all times and US $6.50 shipping. Do I do a loss leader? So I'm going to tell you what I do. I think you do the same. I price my sweatshirts at $42.99. I run a 20% off sale, and I actually offer free shipping. And I still get a really decent profit margin from Printify. So that's the pricing strategy I use. You can always use an Etsy profit calculator. EVERBEE has one where you can play around with it, plug and play, and find out the best, find the profit margin that you think you deserve, and then plug and play and price your products accordingly to what the profit calculator is showing you. You do the same.
I'm with that. Yeah, I do the same.
And don't do a loss leader. Don't sell yourself short. Get the profit margin that you deserve.
Yeah, because you never get your time back, so you don't want to be like just doing this to give out free stuff.
Yeah.
You got to be making some money off of it.
And if somebody likes your product, they're going to buy it. So price them. So get the profit.
Yeah, that's the other thing. If somebody really likes it,
yeah,
they want it. They're going to pay for it.
This one makes me laugh too. Please, can you explain how you both organize your listing designs on your computer and also on Canva and Kindle? Do you use folders or an external drive? So I'm going to let Nas answer this one.
I'm always super organized. When I make a design, I put it in a folder on my desktop. I label the design, so when I got to dig it up, I just type in what the shirt says and it comes up. And then Jenny is a mess.
There's two types of people in this world.
Yeah, the ones who are...
My desktop looks
There's two types of people. One who has 0 extra unread emails and one who has 10,000 unread emails.
You exposed me.
There's two types of people. So I'm always organized, and I think you should be, because it's easier to find the listing if you just make folders on your desktop for each thing and each design and label them and stuff, because it makes life easier.
My desktop looks like I threw up a bunch of designs on it. But also the question was, how do you keep them organized within Canva and Kindle? Do you end up deleting your designs?
Yeah, when I make something in Over...
he uses GoDaddy Studio.
Yeah, when I make something in GoDaddy Studios, I just delete it because I saved it on my desktop and I don't want it to take up space. So I put it on each mock-up and then transfer that to my computer. And when I list it, I erase the mock-up pictures because they're already in my shop, on my listing. And then I just keep the design on a folder. So on my iPad where I design, I deleted it off there because I need to keep space on there to make a bunch of new stuff.
Yeah, and we don't use an external drive. I guess that is your safest bet. But I like to think of Printify as my external drive, because as soon as you upload one of your designs into Printify, it has a file library of all of your designs that you've ever put in there. So if I can't find one on my desktop and I know that I put it within Printify, it's in that library within Printify. So it's kind of like a cloud for your designs.
Yeah. And the other thing is, the only thing that I do have saved, in my Over on the iPad, is
Mockups.
the custom ones, the custom designs where I just have to change a name. So that way I don't have to keep reloading that. But if it's a design that's the same on everyone's shirt and it's not a customization one, it can just be on your desktop. And like you said, the other thing I have saved is the pictures of all the mock-ups are on there, because that's what I'm constantly doing.
Yeah, it's key to at least be organized. I'm still not very organized, but with your custom and personalization orders, where it's like a templated design, and like you said, you go in and just change the name out, so that you don't have to waste your time recreating the design. So have that named to where you can type it in and find it pretty quickly.
And thanks everybody for sending in questions.
Yes.
It's awesome.
And make sure that if you have any questions to comment.
Yeah, keep it going, and we'll keep making videos to answer them. Just put your questions in the comment section below.
Okay, this one might be a little confusing, but I'm going to try my best to answer it. So I have a question regarding duplicating listings on Etsy, which is great, but do you go back on Printify and duplicate them all there as well with SKUs? Or just duplicate on Etsy and then fulfill manually? This might be really confusing for anybody who didn't see our previous Mailbox Monday, but basically what we were saying in our previous Mailbox Monday is that Nas likes to test different mock-ups within a listing. So he'll have 3 different mock-ups within a listing with the same design on it. And he'll list it, and then he duplicates that listing and switches the mock-up. And then he duplicates that listing again and switches the mock-up. When you do that on Etsy, you don't have to worry about doing that within Printify as well, because the SKUs are already going to be synced up with Printify. I hope that makes sense and clears up that question for you. All right, last question. I'd love to see another video about the topic of focus, time blocking designs, discipline, how to stay awake and stay out of procrastination and overthinking tasks on the process. We like to end our Mailbox Mondays with mindset situations, so I think this is a great question for that. So basically on the topic of focus and time blocking, designs, and discipline, how do you stay disciplined with your shop?
I made it a habit to always be in my shop if I'm sitting down and I'm on my laptop. So it became I don't even feel like I'm disciplining myself anymore. I just feel like it's a lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
So
I like how you said habit.
Yeah,
because
it's like a habit.
I don't know if you guys ever read Atomic Habits by James Clear. I'm pretty sure that's who it's by. It's a really great book all about habits. And one of the parts in that book is he suggests, I'm not exactly sure his name for it, but he suggests doing a habit, like a good habit, which is working in your Etsy shop, and maybe pairing it with something that you enjoy. So I know that Nas, he will sit and listen to his favorite YouTubes or podcasts while he's designing or listing within his shop. And that's his way of relaxing, but he's also working in his shop. So then it makes it feel like that habit, and his book's about good habits, not breaking bad habits. We're talking about good habits here. It makes it feel less of a chore because you're coupling it with something that you enjoy.
Yeah. And it's if you're just listening to a podcast, I don't know about you guys, but my ADD and attention span will kick in and I'll want to do a second thing while that's playing anyway, So it's why not make that second thing that you're doing something that makes you some money?
Yeah, and for me, honestly, I didn't ever really have the problem of focusing and being disciplined, because I get excited when I'm working on new designs and listings because it's always a possibility for more money to come in. So I literally get a flutter in my chest when I'm working on designs because cool. I'm excited about it, and you want to get in the flow state and just really enjoy the process of it and not overthink it. Just have fun and kind of get into a flow state with it.
Yeah.
Get excited about the potential and the possibilities of this.
It's the thing you should do in life. It seems to me I've heard successful people say the route to making a lot of money is to become passionate about what you're doing,
Mm-hmm.
Put some love into it, and don't make it a chore. Make it something that you want to perfect and enjoy, and it'll have a good chance of leading towards the money.
Yeah. And try not...
In my opinion,
yeah.
That's what I think is the right way to approach it.
And by procrastinating, sitting down to work on designs, you're procrastinating making money.
Yeah.
So, yeah, don't overthink it. Get in the flow state. Have fun with it. And
break it down into parts so it doesn't seem it's spinning your brain around. One day, just design. Another day, just list all the things that you designed. That way you have like a workflow instead of being all over the place. Like, just be creative that day and just do all designing, and don't worry about listing it, and just stay in that like flow. And then the next day, like I said, next time just do all listing and stay in that flow, and it kind of like makes you cruise better and get things done more efficiently.
Oh, good. We just said the same thing, more efficiently. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm sure there's...
But keep at it. I mean, just the fact that you're saying that you want to be disciplined and focus, I feel like you're on to something.
Yeah.
So.
And maybe you just need to listen to more inspirational business stories or YouTubes or podcasts that get you excited.
That worked for you.
I listened to the Kathy Heller show on,
and a ton of other
her
ones
podcast.
too.
Oh my gosh, yeah. But mostly the Kathy Heller
yeah.
show. Every day to and from work, and that got me so excited, and to see the potential of how all these people are becoming successful. I'm like, why not me? So I
was just gonna say, I think it really hit you too when you started saying, I can relate to some of these people's stories, or their stories resonated with you, and then it hit you as, what's the difference between a successful person and me? I can do it. And I've seen other people do it, so why can't I?
Yeah.
And then you kept really believe that and kept pushing, and then you started making the big bucks. So kudos to you.
Mindset.
You deserve your flowers, because you did flip your mindset and got on that mode.
Yeah.
And became great.
Mindset is key for sure. So maybe that's like your missing links to get you excited.
And don't listen to anybody. You don't have to tell people your plans and stuff. Just buckle down and focus on what you're doing. And when you do start making even a little bit of extra money, you're going to feel good about it, and that's going to give you that extra push to work on the shop. Because you're going to be like, money's rolling in, woo!
Yeah.
You know? That's exciting when money's rolling in. You're going to want to keep working at it.
Yeah, the sky's the limit at that point.
So, to let us know that you watched the video all the way through, put your favorite type of food below. For example, my favorite food is definitely Greek food. It's one of the reasons like I wanted to move to Greece in my top 5 reasons. So, Greek food for me, that's my favorite. How about you?
My favorite is spanakopita, which is a Greek
Falls
dish.
under Greek food.
So good. So good.
And she makes it banging too.
Yeah. So let us know your favorite food in the comments section below. And but don't forget to ask your questions for next Mailbox Monday as well.
Right. Do that as well. And make sure you like and subscribe so you can keep catching Jenny's videos and all of our Mailbox Mondays in the future. And thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys in the next video.